Hey TikTok fam, it's been a long time since I posted on this page, but I already let you guys know that I have to take mental health breaks from reporting on behalf of my cousin's passing, just because it's very sensitive and emotional topic for me. However, the case is happening now and you guys are watching everything unfold live. The prosecution rested their case today, or yesterday, it's midnight over here, and defense will be taking their side and presenting their information today. But here are some things to note, because I have seen some things coming up just in the other comment sections and some questions, and just to kind of point out what's been proven as fact and why I think that we have a good chance at getting a conviction. So one thing that we have to remember is that this is a case of proving manslaughter versus self-defense, and also the assault, right? The reason, again, they went with manslaughter because they can't prove that it was premeditated, which I think is debatable, but they just wanted to go with the charge that was going to get an actual conviction, right? So when we're talking about what is self-defense versus, what happened, Susan's case is not looking good. What's been proven is that Ajka never rattled her door handle. She never pulled on it. She never yanked on it. She only banged on the door. Ajka was never heard saying, "I'm going to kill you." They talked to all the neighbors that were out that night, all the neighbors that lived nearby, and none of them had heard her say, "I'm going to kill you." They did hear her say, "Fucking bitch, come outside." They did hear her say, "Come talk to me. What did you say to my children? Come outside." And they did hear her knocking on the door hard. But no one heard any threats of "I'm going to kill you" or even "I'm going to hurt you." In the time that Ajka was knocking on her door, Susan made her first phone call to the police at 8:54. 8 minutes between those calls is how long it took for them to get on the scene, and also in that time frame she had shot Ajka. She claims that in between the two phone calls that she couldn't find her phone at some point, but she magically found it after she shot Ajka. And if you listen to the call, she went from being super frantic to, "Oh my God, I just shot my neighbor." The woman is a piece of work, honestly. There are some aspects of the case where prosecution were not allowed to use the words that she allegedly said to the kids, like calling them slaves or the N-word, because it technically is hearsay. However, they do have witness interviews from the questioning that night and videos of her doing some of these things. So it ended up coming out in evidence anyhow. I think it's worth noting that Susan already had a weapon, personal weapon, and she went and purchased another one at sometime during the year after getting into an altercation with Ajka, or like a conversation with Ajka that made her feel unsafe. So she purchased this gun specifically out of fear of Ajka months before this happened. That night that the kids were playing, they were supervised by an adult. And the only reason that my cousins were even outside after everyone was done playing was to go back and get their things, which led to the interaction of basically them getting into with Susan, because she picked up their stuff from under the tree and they had to go get their stuff. And instead of her just giving them the stuff, she threw it at them, breaking the iPad, throwing skates. They go get Ajka. Ajka goes over there like, "Hey, what the fuck is going on?" And then she shoots her through the door. When she did shoot Ajka through the door, it should also be noted that that door was steel. The house was made of brick. Nothing was unlocked. The windows were locked. The side door was locked. The front door was locked. She never looked out the window. She never looked out a peephole. She never looked through a curtain. She said she didn't really know who was on the other side of the door until she put two and two together, because my cousin said they were going to go get their mom. So she's like, "Oh, this must be her." And one other thing that came up is, you guys may notice that her jury is all white. I want to say it's 4 women and 2 men. It wasn't always initially set to be that way. They did have 4 black jurors selected in the initial jury process. However, when the defense asked if any of those people would feel offended if they heard a racial slur used in court during this case, basically raise your hand, and they all raised their hand. They decided to reselect the jury because they wanted to remove any personal bias. And that is how they ended up with an all-white jury. Defense is set to present their case today. Later today is midnight over here in the wee hours of the morning in Florida. And they should be deliberating by Friday with the verdict. I genuinely believe, just based on, again, what we know for sure, that we do have a strong chance of possibly getting this conviction of the manslaughter charge. And I really hope they give her the full 30 years. My feelings aside, whether this was my family member or not, I would never understand the mindset of a person who feels so inflicted by someone else because of the color of their skin or what may have you, that they need to take it that far. And not only did she do that to my cousin, who was a single mom of four, she was antagonizing kids in the neighborhood. She has a history of being a CUNT. And I hope she gets everything she deserves. As I find out more information from my family who was there in court while this is going on, I will present it back to you guys. But obviously the other outlets and other TikTokers are doing a good job who are there, and it's still a lot for us personally. And I know you guys are going to ask, the kids are doing okay. I just saw them a couple of months ago when I was home in July. Everyone's fine. They're with their dad and their grandma, and they're doing the best they can. And the links are still in my bio. All the money to their GoFundMe is actually set up in a trust, so it goes directly to them. That's confirmed. So if you guys still want to help in any way, please click the link in my bio and donate to the kids, okay? But yeah, let's just keep praying for this conviction, guys. And I think everyone at this point is just ready to get to the next chapter of life and just wanting to see this woman get served, So I will check back in with you guys in a couple of days.
Hello everyone, this is Lions Den with another news and commentary. And before I start this video, I would like to thank Jai Riggins on TikTok for this video. If you don't know who Jai Riggins is, she's the woman who's related to AJ Owens, the Florida woman who was unalived by a white neighbor. And so I did multiple stories, and I did back-to-back stories of the incident. So now, just like she said, that the case is, underway. Basically, that now the defense is about to take. I mean, the prosecution rests, and now the defense is now taking over and hearing this. I mean, Susan Lorincz, who is the woman that was responsible for AJ's unalivement. So right now, the defense in that case is now going to hear her side of the case. But it's sometime today we're going to probably hear closing arguments and finally the verdict. So I'm gonna be doing another update because I'm already following her on TikTok as we speak. If there's any updates of the jury who reached the verdict and everything, I would do another video. But keep in mind, I was going to do indisputable. I decided not to. I was going to do a lot of media coverage of this. I decided not to as well. The only thing I decided to do, and I realized, I said, wait a minute. I follow AJ's cousin on TikTok, so let me hear her. Oh, and only her. I don't want to hear no media coverage of that. I don't want to hear any of that. I just want to hear the family of AJ Owens, because she's doing wall-to-wall coverage of of the court itself. So that's why I decided to go ahead and do her video instead. But she claims that, you heard what she said about why there was an all-white jury, right? She said that the defense, Susan Lorincz defense attorneys asked the black, the black jurors, are you going to be offended when, they use racial slurs? And the majority of them raised their hands up and they excused every last one of them. They said, nah, we're good. So then that's why it started to be an all-white jury. And, you heard her cousin Jai says that, they're hopeful that there will be a conviction. When it comes to an all-white jury, however, I mean, Ahmaud Arbery's case, basically, it was convicted, the 3 white men that, unalive on Ahmaud Arbery. So I hope that this all-white jury will do the same thing. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of skeptical because you heard it would be 3 white females, 2 white males, and alternates is all white alternates. And you heard some are gun owners, registered gun owners. Some has ties to law enforcement, and this is why I say I'm kind of concerned about this. She's hopeful. The cousin is hopeful because there's no proof that AJ threatened Susan Lorincz. They say I'm going to unalive you. I gotta watch my words because it's YouTube. But I'm going to unalive you. She said that she did, however, say that FMB come outside. What did you say to my children? She did say that part. Because when it was cooperating, saying that part. But other than that, she really didn't threaten Susan Lorincz. Let's just keep it real. She didn't threaten her. And to continue, I was saying that when it comes to that, she was talking about the door was locked. Okay, the windows were locked. It was been bolted shut. All she did was knock on the door. She didn't even do anything else. And she shot AJ, which is Achika. This is her real name, Achika. She shot Achika through that door and unalive her then. But so today she says it's Friday, which is today, that defense will hear their side, and then there's going to be closing arguments, and then after that, it's possibly they will reach the verdict later on today. And again, like she said, she's going to come back in a couple of days, but I got a feeling that she may come back after the verdict is read. So, if there any other news, I will keep you posted. If there any other news, if they've already reached the verdict, any AJ Owens case. If there is, I will do another video and keep you posted on it. But in the meantime, that's what's going on. And I'm only going to do the cousin of AJ Owens. I'm not going to do any other news. And I, even though I was going to do indisputable, but I was like, why would I do indisputable or any other local media if I follow the cousin of AJ Owens on TikTok? So if things change, if there's a verdict has been reached, I will do another video and keep you posted on this. So, basically just letting you know that I will keep you posted if anything changes. But with that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.